Hi guys, it's Snapshot of a Soul. I've been having some computer issues lately, so I have not been doing much with it. But in the meantime, I've decided to do something I've been meaning to do forever, and that's to make a bunch of tutorials that you guys have requested. And my top two requests are set building, which I will get to. And today I am going to be doing my other most requested one, which is how do you write a realistic character? And this goes for both subtitled series and voice series, Sims 1, Sims 2, Sims 3. I have seen Sims 1 series lately, and it's good because I do miss them. I remember there was a community I was part of where you could do Sims 1 stories, and I think that was really cool. So this applies to anything, and it can apply to different games too. Like, say you play like Second Life or something and you want to make a video with that. This could help. And I don't claim to be an expert. I'm just really good at English, I guess. So yeah, let's get started. First, we're going to start with general appearance of the character. First off, make sure that you have what they will look like in mind, but don't get too detailed if you don't want to. Just do what you feel comfortable with. Like, if you don't want to plan out their exact facial features, if you just want to let that flow when you're in Body Shop or Create a Sim, that's perfectly fine. And when you're in Create a Sim, just go with what you feel looks right for that character. It doesn't have to match up to your personal preference. So if you express yourself in a certain style, that doesn't mean that all of your characters have to look like that. And if you wear a lot of a certain color, not all of your Sims have to wear that certain color. And that applies too to, like, say if they like something, not all of your Sims have to like the same thing or act the same way or have the same beliefs that you do. So when they express themselves, when your characters express themselves, make sure that you keep in mind that people are diverse and people will have differing opinions. Conflict of opinion is something that we will touch on. So yes, just keep that in mind, that having contradictory and somewhat controversial opinions, it's a good thing for a plotline. But in a way, try to avoid cliche, where you start getting like, oh, this person, they're rich and they're blonde and they wear pink all the time and they drive a convertible and they have no worries. That's a cliche. And just try to stay away from them, but don't Mary Sue it. A Mary Sue is where you try to get away from the cliche, but at the same time you create your own cliche. So what Mary Suing is that it's the direct opposite of a cliche, but in the worst way possible. So to write that character, I bet you guys are wondering, well, how do you do that? And my honest answer is, it all depends on what you're writing. Say if you're writing a serial killer series, I've seen a few crop up. If you're writing a serial killer series and you're trying to write the main protagonist, the protagonist, for those of you who do not know, is the good or favored person. They do not have to necessarily be good. They're the favored person, and the antagonist is the opposing force, person, or entity. Which means, like, say, if the government is opposing them, that would be the main antagonist. Or say, maybe a landscape is opposing them, or something like something that causes them a personal challenge. That is the antagonist. So you just gotta write from your genre. And I mainly do a lot of dark stuff, so it all depends on your style. Like, I don't usually write characters that are happy and upbeat and have nothing wrong. I like to write people with problems. So once you come up with, like, your character and the general way that they look, you gotta really just sort of refine that a bit. And what I'm going to get into now is makeup and clothing. Makeup and clothing is a key aspect of a machinima Because what happens is that when you have a character, you want to make them look good, but at the same time, what if that character doesn't look good? What if they're shabby? What if they don't have a lot of money? Well, you can't have them all wearing Abercrombie. I don't even know what Abercrombie is. Anyways, Walmart shopper. Yep. So you want to have them, like, stay within their own personal, like, income range. Like, you won't have a sim that you deem poor to look totally trashed all the time. Usually they'll just have plain, simple, basic, no frills added, like t-shirt, jeans, hoodies, nothing flashy, very basic, and sometimes outdated. Like, you may see things that should be from a different era, but unless it's part of the character, don't get too far with that. Like, if you want to have a sim wearing all 50s stuff in a modern day setting, then that would be part of their character, and that would be one of their choices. But if it's not a choice, like, say it's just part of, like, their income range, say they're, like, working class, then just kind of make it look like they went shopping at Salvation Army, With makeup, try to use it sparingly. Don't overload on it for either gender. Because when you overload on it, just think of real people. Do you ever see that? And do you ever, like, really want to see that on a person? Not really, no. Try to keep it natural most of the time. Most people that I know, they don't cake it on a lot. Most people I know don't even wear it. But, nobody wakes up with a face full of Maybelline. Like, when your sim character first wakes up, it would be better to have them have, like, tousled hair and look kind of like they just woke up, like no makeup. Kind of not like they'd step out of the house. The character is not entirely just for, oh, look at how my character is so pretty, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not about the looks. It's a big part of it, but a lot of times you would do better with having characters that you can relate to and that are strong in the way that they have a personality and how they handle the plot lines, rather than, oh, look at my pretty character. Pretty characters are good, but only when used in moderation. Now for diversity and locality. Say you're doing a series set in Japan. And I know a lot of people don't like to touch on this, but I'm just going to hit it on the head. Some people think that when you have just, like, all one race in a series, that's kind of racist. For me, it's all circumstantial, and I don't believe that it's intentional in a lot of cases. In some cases it is, and I have nothing to say to those people. But in the cases where it's not intentional, it just happens by, like, total chance, then I really don't have anything to say on that either. But, if you're having a series, say, set in Japan or China or something like that, the big majority of your cast is going to be Asian.